morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on whereabouts you are in the world. I hope you're having a phenomenal day so far, and welcome to this morning's stream where we're playing a first play of Foundation, as suggested by Fire in our community. The volume might be a little bit off at the moment because I can't do a huge amount about it, and it should already be quiet for you. I'm just turning it down very manually because I'm being deafened by the rather nice soundtrack. So we're playing the Foundation demo. The demo is different from the early access version, so I have picked up the game as well, just in case. Good morning, Les. Lovely to have you here. If you buy the early access version, you'll still be able to play the demo independently of the early access version. And basically there's new UI, new building, all the things. So without further ado, let's see if we can get it back down from a deafening level to being something that you guys can comfortably watch. Give me just a moment. Right. So we're going to go into our settings first. Audio and let's knock everything down to 75, that down to there we go, and then we can turn it back up for the stream. Jobs are good. So I've not played this at all yet. I'll put it on window just... Oof, maybe I won't. There, we'll leave it on full screen for now. We'll see how that goes. So, for those that haven't heard of Foundation before, as I hadn't before, it was recommended by Fire. The Foundation is a gridless, laid-back medieval city-building game with a focus on organic development, monument construction, and resource management. So this is my first foray into playing the game at all, and we'll see what it's like compared to others that are kind of in this same space, things like Farthest Frontier, or... I think we'll just go with whatever the map says. So, select your map, set your rules. I'll just take the preset it's giving me and describe your village. Oh, that's kind of nice. So we can have set ourselves up a wee coat of arms. I'll do. We can have emblem shapes. Let's go for something more lion rampanty. All right, that's a bit of fun. Okay, any suggestions on what we call our village, chat? Also, welcome whether you're watching us on the Twitch, TikTok, or YouTube. I can see all of your chats at the same time. Haha. Good morning, dog. Goose, use the goose, no peace, only hate. Wow. Well, the goose says you too. So you can ignore everyone in chat at the same time, says Les. Yes. I can ignore all the chats across all the social medias all at the same time. Gooseville. Right, fine. In the grim darkness of the far past, there is only Goose. This chat is why you can't have nice things. SJ Billy on TikTok, welcome. Lovely to have you here. Okay, let's get ourselves started then. That crest looks rather Scottish, says Talk on Twitch. Well... A new beginning. After a long journey throughout the realm, your people have finally reached new lands, your lands, territories you can settle for reasons of your own. Your villagers await your command and are eager to offer their advice about how to proceed should you require it. Well, I suppose we should hear someone's advice. I mean, we've already taken poor advice in the naming of the village in our coat of arms, so... the AI advice can't be any better or worse. Quest module. Your objectives are displayed on the quest module. The quest module will display your current objectives and quests throughout the game. So at the moment we're doing the normal up, down, WASD camera movement. So is this like Farthest Frontier where we already have some wee villages somewhere, or... No, our population is 0. We give good advice, says Les. Get yourself a coffee. What? I have not actually got myself a coffee. I should get on that. Oh, it looks like we have a mega rock. Right. Your first territory. To start building your village, you must choose your first territory. Each available starting territory has all the basic resources it needs to begin settling new land. Later, you'll be able to expand further by purchasing new territories. Got it. Okay. So we've got the bits skirting the mega rocks. Over this side, we've got a wee bit of water there. There doesn't appear to be any running water anywhere. I wonder how that's going to affect the starter village. Well, maybe we choose ourselves a wee bit of a clearing. Bit further away from Mega Rock. Good morning, Mark. Lovely to have you here over on Twitch. Action module. Most actions, like placing new buildings or expanding your territory, can be performed by the action module at the bottom center of the screen. So we'll build ourselves a village center. So is it... That's our camera. Left click to select part place. Left click drag to rescale a part vertically. Right click to delete a part. Hold Alt and horizontal mouse button to rotate a part. Then left click to place it. Build. Okay. Interacting with the world. A villager wants to speak with you. Click on the bubble to start the interaction. The second piece of advice comes from a young, enterprising villager. Rather than letting everyone fend for themselves, he suggests you organise labourers into appropriate workplaces. Builders into workshops, woodcutters into lumber camps, berry gatherers into their huts, and so on. Let's put that advice into practice. Okay, so we can get a builder's workshop built up. Don't know how far away or close you should be to anyone, but let's set up over there. Okay, click the plus button in the panel to automatically assign the nearest villager to the workplace. Okay. So we'll start off with one builder and maybe put a nearby Mark has totally not been listening to YouTube and watching Twitch again and wondering why the audio didn't match. Well, see if I can just hurry it along. I'm assuming I can take them back out of buildings, so... Is this our village's Waggly, the one actually doing all the work? Oh, the other two builders have gone, oh, you know what? I will come and give you a hand. Painting and wood cutting. Wood resources required to paint an area that's fit for wood cutting using the paint tool. Okay. Oh, there's our paint tool down the bottom. Although we're close to much more. Okay. Got a wee area painted there. And we have another new building available. Two, in fact. We have the forester's hut, which... a gatherer's hut. Gatherer? Rogans? Waggly no work, only supervise, says Doc. I will say, joking aside, Waggly is one of the hardest working people I know. But don't let her hear I've said that. Good morning, Gloom. How are you on this fine morn? So we've got a forester's camp being built and a gatherer's hut. If you're not already following Gloom, by the way, you definitely should do it. Twitch.tv/GloomVT. So we've got the Gatherer's Hut going up there. The Forester's Camp going up there. Gloom is best Gloom, indeed. Oh, and just a heads up about the plans for today's stream. So we're starting off with this Foundation first play. We'll play this for a little bit. I have seen The Farthest Frontiers just had an update as well, so we might play a bit of that. But we'll see. And also I'd like to, now we've gathered pace, I'd quite like to finish off the laundry sim as well. And then if Wagley's around, we'll play some co-op. And then a little bit later on, we've got our War Wednesday begins. Where we'll be playing some Crusader Kings 3 a little bit later on this afternoon, where we're having loads of fun with the Landless Adventurers, and everyone is most welcome to join. Again, a huge thank you to everyone that has subscribed over the past few days, and everyone that's subscribed ever to the YouTube channel. It helps really significantly, and we smashed through the number of subscribers we need to be able to make the channel a little bit more sustainable. So thank you guys, I really appreciate it. Right, we've got one forester over there. Looks like we're running out of population that don't have jobs. It feels like you have raisins in your throat. Oh, top flanker tip, don't eat razors. I am good medic. So do we have to paint with this as well? No. Paint reforestation area. Well, how about we do that just for giggles? Maybe. Or reforest a little bit more around. Now that you've organised your labourers, you can tend to their needs and happiness. Make sure they have access to fresh water and housing. As for food, you'll first need people to store and distribute the berries that they collected. From there, your village will have everything they need to welcome its first wave of immigrants. Painting and housing. Housing is built automatically by your villagers within residential areas you've painted beforehand. To mark a residential area, click the paintbrush on the action module and set the residential paintbrush to the desired land. Okay? Or maybe we set up a residential quarter over here. Every member of your village is looking to satisfy essential and additional needs. Villagers fulfill their needs by consuming resources such as berries for rustic food need, or visiting buildings such as churches for the service need. Check out the details by hovering over each need in the villager window. And we have new buildings available. Well, that's... And we've got a stonecutter's camp as well. Well, since we don't have any mega rocks for this way, let's set the stonecutter's camp up off to one side there. Oh, number go up for berries, so we must be doing okay. So you need water, rustic food, housing, and their additional needs are refined food and service. You don't want to be sick. I can understand that, Gloom. No one wants to be sick. I'm going to get myself coffee in a minute, actually, because I also have sore throat today. Although that may have more to do with bravely shouting like a maniac playing some Ready or Not last night. I, in fact, was not. I think Henry got a clip of us walking around the corner into three guys and both shooting the first two and then both hearing a clicking sound as the last guy turned around and shot us because we had no ammo left. Good morning, Kaz. Most lovely to have you here. Our numbers going burr. Sore throat, need coffee? Yeah, I'm going to go and get a coffee in just a wee sec because otherwise this will be a very quiet street. Oh, well, there's an incentive for me not to have coffee, right? Wagley would approve. Per building zoning. Some buildings require a designated zone to operate, which you can organise via their building menu. We've already done that. That's the reforestation. You can see our foresters planting a few wee trees there. Mark says, Laz, did you sort out your Ethernet cable thing? Alright, it's not the most beautiful area, so it looks like we've got beautification, common resident, paved road, resident citizen, residential area. And then we've got a housing density based on whether or not we've got fortifications nearby. Gadara. So it looks like the housing just consumes resources, which totally makes sense for getting built, but they'll build it themselves. And we are starting to run low on the whole trees bit. Kaz says, my foot feels less sore today, but I cancelled going to the coast. Though it's your happy place, I don't think the amount of walking I would do would be a sensible idea, so you're here at the PC. Although outside's always good. Even if you go for a coffee and watch the sea, I always... There's a few places that I quite enjoy just heading to with a view of the sea. Like Cardiff Bay and Penarth in South Wales, or out to the coast in like St Andrews, and just finding somewhere for, even if I'm not up to going for a long explore, finding somewhere to sit and chill out for a little bit. Not that I'm trying to get rid of you, Kaz. You are most welcome here. Would not recommend as an IT professional throwing chunks of toba onto your screen. Is our well not being built? I was missing stone. Oh, we're missing stone because we don't have anyone in here. Well, let's add 2 miners. And they look like adults. Right. Gloom says, you don't deserve a big Toblerone. Well, while we're waiting for the miners to get everything together, let's also... make a couple of changes in the background. Frank, now that Blu-ray is more or less dead, will we ever entertain or get physical media again? I'm actually just starting to collect Blu-rays again, Mark. Physical formats of media. The problem is that your options are pretty limited, right, for adding physical media to stuff. And I can see another generation being like USB or something, but which is a bit, the problem is it's a weird standard to try and make work just as a player. But I'm picking up physical media because I am so fed up with the streaming services so I only pick it up for things that I really care about, and I only pick up the more expensive like Blu-ray 4K stuff for either films that I really like. Like, I'm a huge fan of A Knight's Tale. Not a cinematic masterpiece. It's a Heath Ledger film, but just one of my favourite films. It's just a brilliant waste of time. And then for things more cinematic, like the original Gladiator, that you're going to get a benefit of it being on 4K, so it's nice to watch on a big telly and be able to watch whenever you like. But yeah, I think the thing is, as you go up, it's one of the reasons that 4K took so long to adopt, and 8K is just nowhere, is that the bandwidths required are really high. Now, as internet gets better, we can see some of that, but like the bit rate required for HDR 8K is from 200 megabits per second. So even if you have a gigabit connection, which over most of the world is pretty good, that's going to eat 20% of your bandwidth. If you have an average connection, you are looking at 69.4 megabits is the UK current average. So it's probably a little bit higher than that. That was going back till March. So it is one of those things that you couldn't watch 8K if you wanted to. Also, it's not just about the data, the amount of data needed. It's that the vanishingly small returns on Netflix going out. The way Netflix works, it actually has boxes with your films in. They guess what people are going to watch nearby, but they're actually in the wee boxes on exchanges for your telco, so it's not having to hit their service directly. The additional bandwidth needs, the fact they do their very best not to deliver 4K, and will deliver 720p or 1080p wherever they can, because the infrastructure costs so much lower. The bandwidth requirements so much lower, and they don't have to put as much storage space into their local boxes. Like, it is not a small amount of change needed. So I think as we get to these higher bitrate formats, if people care about it, they may just be happy watching 720p on 1080p on 4K TVs for the next 10 years. Then if they're happy about it, then no one's going to care, which you'll still see people buying DVDs for things that they want to be able to watch, but aren't cinematic masterpieces, and then buy Blu-rays or something for 4K. But if there was a new format out, I could see that the film industry will keep getting screwed over by streamers. They're going to keep finding that they don't have... the finances don't work the same way for making films anymore. So either the way they make films will change, in my opinion, or they need to find some way of actually selling media to people again. So, there you go. That was a longer answer than I'm guessing you expected. Gloom says, I've never had a Blu-ray. Well, I think mine was included in a console. It's like the first HD as well. That's why I think Xbox fumbled the balls so hard on the Xbox Connect, because they had the first in-home smart capable device that was in millions of homes that would have made a great hub, and they were like, oh, let's get rid of the Kinect. Who needs to do that sort of thing? Multi-part buildings. Some buildings such as the market have multiple parts and can be customized that way. Each part has a cost and can have a specific effect. Check the details on the part description. Got it. So we've got a new building. So we've got a food stall or a rustic market tent. Yeah, I think for a lot of people, ooh, we're going to need more wood. I'll leave everything else as it is, but that's what we're waiting for. Because people have been building their houses. Yeah, and I think that you're having DVDs and CDs kind of makes the point about high resolution. For most films, most pieces of entertainment, people do not care about the resolution. It's all about the content and convenience versus the resolution. Also the cost. If a Blu-ray is going to cost you $20, whereas a DVD will cost you $5, unless you really like that film, unless you desperately want a physical copy, you're going to go for the cheaper option. Bloom says the K-pop market thrives with CDs. Because they make it such a thing to buy physical albums. You get so many exclusives like photo shoot books of the idols, etc. One album earlier this year had a version that literally came with a custom CD player. That's kind of neat. Hey Simplex, how's the game? Looks pretty relaxing. It is a pretty chill time. This was recommended by Fire. And it feels like a Farthest Frontier, but with less threat, more chill. I think that's the challenge, right? Because there's sums people have done on subscription services and were true to a greater or lesser extent to begin with, where it was a winner takes all, where Netflix had a huge advantage. And now all the studios are going, well, hang on, the advantage is the content we already own. Is that the previously it was, if we can get people to give us more in a monthly subscription than they would buy in discs, we are up on this deal. And it means that we have a constant stream of revenue rather than having to attach revenue to particular media, which is really funny because you see Netflix just cancelling shows all over the place as if which I understand they're doing based on the metrics, but it's really interesting to see studios a few years ago saying, oh yeah, we'll be able to produce a whole range of content because people are subscribing. It gives us more stability of income so we can commit to more interesting series and are less reliant on big blockbusters. Immediately cancels every series. Cat says I still buy DVDs, not bought new music in a while, but by the CD I've never downloaded anything media-wise. I have a loft full of PC games. It's madness downloading a game and not having a physical thing, but I guess I'm old. No, I get that as well. Like, I genuinely miss the era of... Because it's one of the challenges, right, is that media just isn't going to exist in the same way in the future. There is no way that the next generation could play the same live service game that I played. because it will be a different version of it. It won't be the same game. Whereas I can go back and get them to play Unreal Tournament, and it will still roughly work. And you'll be able to play it in earlier console games prior to them just being a disc with a validation code on them. Also, you can kind of share that actual experience. If you buy an NES cartridge of Super Mario, you're getting Super Mario and NES exactly how I played it. There's no patches, no updates, and there's lots of advantages to newer games and digital downloads. Like, I downloaded this yesterday. I downloaded the full game version of this, which is a different UI, a little bit earlier on today. It's super convenient. Unfortunately, Game, who were the kind of last man standing, they got bought by Fraser's Group in the UK, which is like the UK equivalent of GameStop, are now a toy shop with most of the management that had an understanding of what they made their product unique gone. And I remember not that long ago, in the old days, like going and hanging out and waiting for releases of Halo. I believe one of the Halos came out on Plan's birthday, and I managed to persuade Plan to come out to a game store with me and hang out at midnight in the rain. So, her birthday. Why Plan married me after all this, I have no idea. Must have taken a knock to the head at some point and lowered standards. So I'm just letting the resources build up. Also, totally not getting everything ready for our Crusader Kings 3 community game a little bit later on at 2:30, dentist o'clock. It does seem like, despite our needs not being met, that we're using so much resource for the house building that it's actually not letting us gather enough resources in the woods to be able to build the other things we need to build. We do have the well built though, so it's not a complete loss. What I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to take one of the people off mining and put them onto wood cutting just to ramp up production just a wee bit, because we don't have a huge call for stone at the moment for the next couple of buildings. Dark Souls, one of the small things I like about this game is you don't build roads. The roads just generate according to where others walk. Yeah, they generate based on desire paths. Mark says, Kaz, the problem is nowadays, even if you get a physical copy of the game, it has to phone home over the internet before you can play, and it does that every session. Yeah, which I get. But it, and I think that it's a double-edged sword. We've got loads of updates coming for games, which is really cool. Like, people hark back to the old days of gaming. Like, oh, games used to be better in my day. If you bought a copy of Theme Hospital for a particular version of Windows and it was balked, or you built the MS-DOS version of Windows came out, you had to buy that game on CD again. There was no fixing it. If you were super lucky, you could spend a modern day equivalent of about £8 to buy a copy of PC Gamer magazine or PC Format that might have a patch on it if they patched it, but mainly if the game was broken when you bought it, it was broken. If it was meant for one operating system, it worked on that operating system, and never shall it be updated again. Doc says the last thing I bought was a physical copy was Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, no, Doc, not you, no. Max says the debate on who owns digital game you buy has been more and more relevant. When it comes to old physical games, you can still get to work 90% of the time. Yeah, you can kind of finagle them. There are going to be problems. You do have to jump through hoops. It's where consoles genuinely actually win a lot of the time, although less so now as they start to follow the same model. Is that they will... Surely you should be letting me build this now. Cannot start production. Well, what if I put the food stall in? That one looks like it can. So maybe we'll stick that in the corner here. Nope, not quite there. There. So that one needs 20 wood. That's fine. Oh, it's just we need 20 wood. Okay, so now we should be able to. I don't understand. Am I being dim? Quite possibly. Gloom says a bit more reasons having to go out in the actual stores. I think that's the thing, is people won't miss it until it's gone. The convenience of just buying a store online, a digital storefront, is super cool. But actually what it means is that people are getting more isolated. Can I just delete that? Let's do it again and see if I can persuade it to build it from scratch. Market, forest camp, lumber camp, stone cut swell. Yeah, it was just bought for some reason. Okay, we'll build the food one first, then we'll build the other one. Yeah, it's one of the things that Howard Schultz kind of got with Starbucks, as people need a third place that's not work or home. One of the kind of depressing things at the moment is that one of the great things about the labour market at the moment is that a lot of people are getting to work from home, and that has transformed work-life balance for some people, particularly if you've got childcare needs, so you're not commuting. Like my old commute, I have previously commuted as in done daily from South Wales, like Cardiff, to London or Swindon or Reading. I've also commuted within London and commuted from London to Edinburgh and Edinburgh to London for very silly reasons. So there's you're buying back a number of hours. The only problem is that it's really easy to find yourself trapped at home. If you don't have to go out because you can get someone to bring your groceries to you, if you don't have to go out to go shopping, then you can become more socially isolated. And I think retail stores that just have a product on the shelf are going to become more and more a thing of the past. There's a convenience to having like an Argos-alike store, who are a catalogue retailer in the UK, or Screwfix follow the same kind of thing, but for trade, where you are able to go and pick something up right now, where you need it today. And you'll see more and more click and collect. But I think if you want to drive people into stores, they need to change the business tax system on business rates, because retail premises will cost you 50% of your rent in tax, plus another 20% in a different tax. So and that's based on the value of the property, and town centre property tends to be more expensive, whereas where Amazon and e-tailers are in cheap warehouse space. So the percentage may be the same, but the property value is seen as very different. But you're going to... I think retailers need to offer some level of experience, whether that's going to meet up with friends and in-store coffee shop, or whether that is having a theatre of retail where you're going somewhere to kind of have an experience, not just pick a thing up. No workers. Okay, well, we should be able to sort that out. Because I think we may have over-resourced in our rush. If we cut down the number of builders... There you go. And we'll get them... Let's add one market trader there, and then we'll build the other market stall there as well. Yeah, a rustic market tent. This is the one that we don't have the resources for. Oh, and requires to be attached. Attached how? Oh, assign berries to the market stall. Hang on. There we go. Berries are assigned. Sorry, chat. Dog says of me, of plan marry me, even an ugly dog can be loved. Love you too. Dog says I used to love so much just browsing store shelf off shelf, wasting hours at gaming stores. Right, and I think there's still that desire. I think the problem is that there needs to be other product. And like the games industry have kind of replaced one problem they had with the game stores. Effectively, more margin was going to, well, the same margin actually was going to a game store, and you had to have a publisher to be able to get a game out because they needed to actually front the cost of producing the CDs and DVDs that the games were on and shipping them to the stores. So they would take a pretty low 30% margin, pretty low for physical retail, which, by the way, is the same that Steam takes now for not having physical retail. So you've gone from having a plethora of options but having to pay up front to get discs into people's hands and having to have a distributor ideally to market to then smaller stores to having one store. Well, you've got 2 or 3 now. Epic are making good inroads. But you're never going to get cheaper games anywhere because Steam has a most favoured nations clause, which should be illegal in my humble opinion, where no other store can sell it at less than Steam, even if the fees are significantly less with other stores than on Steam. Cat says I have all of the Sims 1 and 2, bought a disc for Sims 3 on unloading up, was told it had to be played online. I didn't have home broadband or a phone, only a mobile dongle from the internet, so I stopped buying Sims and go back and play the original versions and load whichever packs I want when I want. I do, it is one of the things that is very funny to me that when Epic came out, people are like, oh my god, this is terrible. There's another game store and I have to have a different launcher. And they're giving me free games to do it. Still failing to see the problem. We'll add some more miners in. Just to get everyone up to 10. And raise the current happiness level of your villagers. We'll start working on that in a moment as well. I have a sneaking suspicion we may need the other market stall as well. I'm not sure what that's meant to be doing. I think we'll just leave it for now. We have encouraged immigration. Excellent. Yeah, I think, sorry, to finish my thought, I think that people forget when Steam first came out, people frigging hated it. Well, I need a connection to the internet to be able to play the game. I have the disc in my hands. Simple as say, sold or gave away all my physical games. I like having all my games in my notebook bag. I can get that. There should be a warning on why you can't build on it. The second thing needs to be placed on top of the other. Hey, Fire. Over on YouTube. Much appreciated. Okay. I am working my way through chat slowly. So, right. It says requires to be attached. How do I attach the freaking thing? You put the tent, it's only decoration. Okay. Turns out, decoration does not want to work. Might just have to be the other way around. Is it that way around? I give up. I'm bored. Okay. There just aren't third places that says gloom. You don't need to spend money per minute. You're always seen as a customer first, a person second. I think, to be honest, that's always been the case. Like, there are still third place around, like, parks. You know, you can, if you are lucky enough to live in a city with parks and outdoor spaces, there are those kind of third place available. And I think that, like, coffee shop, pubs type third places are available as well. I think the economics of running a third place where people just hang out. I think I've talked before about the economics of running a coffee shop and how too many coffee shops don't actually have enough seats for customers to be able to be profitable. So I can tell they're going to close really quickly unless they have a huge amount of off trade. And things like game stores, which are something that's increased, I would say, in the last few years, where you're starting to see more independent game stores, or, you know, like independent chains like Firestorm, where you do have tables and stuff. They have to make that space work somehow, because, like, if you're in a city centre, your retail rent could be up to £100 per square foot per year, plus another £20 in VAT, plus another £50 in business rates per square foot. Even in a cheaper area, you're looking at £30 per square foot per year. That's really rough to make the economics work on just having a table for someone to sit there if they're not going to actually pay money to you. And I think people got so caught up in it's cheaper online. Like, retail margins are what allowed retailers to do cool stuff in their stores. Doc says, do love having physical copies of things I love, but some things are just easier to access digitally. Best example for me is all the copies of Metal Gear games I have, but having it on Steam means I'm more likely to be able to play them on the unforeseeable, for the foreseeable future. Well, I can't play original MGS 2 or 3 as I don't have a TV with a SCART collection anymore. That's fair. Advice: property for trade. A business-minded villager proposes creating a trade route with your closest neighbour, Northbury, to sell resources for profit and obtain items you cannot be produced locally. Northbury needs planks, so you should start with those. Okay, so unlocking buildings. Some buildings are not available at the start of the game. You'll need to unlock them from the progression screen. Unlocking them requires you reach their tier, which might require a certain number of prosperity and estate splendor. Once there, you must pay a certain number of coins or influence to unlock them for your village. Okay, so if we put a sawmill like there-ish, so it could really stand with being a wee bit further away. Build that there. Right. Our storage is full. Well, we'll use up some of that storage and we'll reduce the number of people in the slumber camp and increase the number of foragers for now. So I say I've many games several times over: Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid 1, Skyrim, Slave of Spire, and others, PC and Switch. Yeah. I hop over from YouTube. The tent goes onto the market stall. Yeah, it's just not in a really obvious way. I really dislike it. Yeah, market, tent. Instead of it being like a click on this and it attaches, no, just... Or even giving you a warning as to why it won't build. Facing the wrong way, must be aligned. Or snapping to the way that it would build over the top of the same thing. Yeah, dislike that immensely. Rosie says, retail rent of the day. Oh, hang on, I've got you. Sorry. I read the whole comment. I'll make it happen for you, Brainsies. Retail rent of the day! Brought to you by Gaming Buzz for all your gaming use. Post a screenshot in social. Okay. I'll be honest, that's super tedious. Right, I've clicked on edit building. Do I now have to put that over the... Sure. That is a really, really like... Never mind. That's a really dumb way of doing that. It should... Either just allow it as an upgrade. Why should I have to go into edit the building? I should either just be able to boost the upgrade, or it should be tooltips. Every time I try and build the top bit, it says, don't do this, or just don't show it. Don't let me build the bloody thing if I can't. The tutorial explains it says fire, but... Oh,
fresh coffee made by Deaths_Legion.
Thank you,
Message, need your morning brie.
Thank you so much for the coffee, Death Legion. That started off a whole run around my house because I hadn't set the coffee machine up. The pucks needed emptying out. I then had to put more water in it, and I also cleaned out the milk jug. I decided I'm going to make that espresso into a caramel latte. Best physical media is books, says Gloom. I love my at-home library. Yes. Although, again, like, less and less space to put them in. Glad to see you approved of the as-written performance of your advert for Gaming Buzz, Praxius. Dog says, stream's so nice and quiet when Flanker isn't here. Yeah, I literally did just have to run to get to the coffee machine, only to find it then error-coded. Change the... emptied it out, which required me to run to the kitchen to go and grab a bio waste bag, to then put it in for the next thing to be the drip tray needed emptying, which I should have just done at the same time. Then the water needed adding. And I decided I would make it into a nice coffee. And I've got my extravagance is a milk frothing jug that I backed on Kickstarter, which I don't normally drink milky coffee. I drink black coffee. So, but when I do drink milky coffee, I quite like to have it. Right. Acquire storage in the progression menu. Where's the progression menu? Up here. Storage acquired. Build a warehouse. Where are we? There you go. Build. And assign planks to the warehouse. Well, what I'll do is I will... It's interesting. Oh, you have to... That's a bit odd that you have to click on the villages to accept them in. I wonder if that's a resource management thing later. There we go. We'll add a couple more builders. Fill out our miners. And another... let's reduce the miners by 1. Increase the followers by 1. Foragers by 1. Alright. In tier 1, you can set all of them, they will never leave. In tier 2 plus, when you don't make them happy, they'll leave. Okay. It's a cute aesthetic, this game. It's quite chilled. There are some odd choices. I think if they wanted to do the market the way that you're describing, that a Manlords-esque version of that could be done, where you have an area of effect around your first market building where it lets you build other buildings. And lets you click on individual buildings where you can specifically upgrade them to having a cover or not, or upgrade to the next level or not, or add more staff or not. Manlords is changing that. Yeah, I know. I haven't played Manlords since they started prioritizing fiddling with balance mechanics over actually adding new features. I wish them every success, but I am not a fan of games that railroad players. And I think the reason they're changing, I don't know. I would imagine the reason they're changing that is because people like me abuse the mechanics on building them and kind of made it fairly painful to do. There are better ways of doing what they set out to do than what they did. People are 68% happy. How rude. %, and it could be glorious. Oh, I need to go and get that coffee. And pick a random coffee syrup, stick in it from the hot potato. There we go. What are we waiting on? Planks. Divot. That would probably help with that problem. There we go. Went with the salted, the sugar-free salted caramel syrup from the hot potato, because every year we buy the coffee shop supplies for the charity hot potato, and every year we use some of them. I think we use more of the mint than any others, and I think more Marmite than we used any of them. But yeah, in summary, I think physical media could well make a comeback depending on consumer sentiment, but also that some of them, unless we build out our infrastructure significantly more, some things just don't make sense to ever actually get delivered. Like AK footage does not make a huge amount of sense. Put those back in the builder's workshop. Give ourselves an extra carpenter there. I'm guessing we need to increase our food supply as well. I need another one of those. We'll put another one in there. There we go. And I think that retail is hopefully not completely dead, because there's a lot of benefit to having physical retail stores that are social benefits. And I think that we'll see more attempts at third places. But I think the challenge is going to be trying to make sure it's not just a boring building with shelves in. It needs to be... It takes a while for them to pick up they've been told to do a thing. That's interesting. It needs to be somewhere that there is an activity or there is a reason to go. And the double-edged sword of working from home which I'm very supportive of where it makes sense, is killing a lot of people's career progression and social life. And it's going to get worse with more and more AI. Gloom says, like working from home because I can't walk. Totally makes sense. I'll have some of the mint a bit later on, Kaz. I still have to use the rest of it. That very green mint is probably lovely in something that's more mocha-like. Not so much with fig rolls and marmite and hot sauce. Global survey to coffee. Huzzah! Morning, combat. Yeah, I think the killer for working from home, like working from home, is hugely positive. The downside is like, and the more senior you are, the more it makes sense to work from home. In terms of if you are senior, as in well on the career progression in your job. So, if you are a senior software engineer, for example, you can collaborate with a team remotely with work. It doesn't just happen. Like I have a dev team. They're based all over Europe. Two of my dev team I have still not met face to face. I think we're just waiting for the planks to catch up now. If you're a junior, and like junior software engineer, kind of sucks though, because you don't have the opportunity to, all of those small things. There's a reason that I still travel to clients when I go to see them, is that you can do 90% of the stuff that you can do in office remotely. But you never have those chance meetings. You can never see if someone's not actually doing anything. So you can go and have a chat with them about your development, or to go and learn a bit more about a thing, or to just go and physically ask a question, which helps productivity when you can't do that a bit, because theoretically people aren't bothering you at your desk, but instead they're just bothering you over Slack Teams insert thing here. But it can be really harmful to you career progression, because there's no one looking out for you to progress you, which and you are not front of mind in a remote team as a junior member. And the other downside is the social aspect, that some people won't value it at all, but I've been lucky enough to really like a lot of the colleagues I've worked with over the years. Not everyone all the time, but I really enjoyed working with some people, and that social aspect kind of disappeared to remote work, again without a lot of effort. But the other killer is you don't go to those third places. The reason you went to that cracking bookshop or that lovely coffee shop is your reward from going home. You went to work, you didn't kill anyone today, so you decided that you'd stop by that lovely wee coffee shop on the way home, or you'd stop by and pick yourself up a book, or all those incidental purchases. You just go by and you treat yourself something from the wee corner shop or the deli or something as a reward to yourself, or pick up stuff for dinner. That's really where independent retailers make their money, and why retailers invested in having a really cool store environment. And you're seeing it where, like, hospitality is brutal anyway, but look at the number of closures. Because if you got a coffee shop and paid $100 a square foot for it because it was in the ground floor of an office building with 1,000 people working there every day, and then find that 90% of people are working from home, you are going bust, because there is not enough trade and people aren't going to order for delivery in the same way. And if they do, you're eating 40% of your margins are going to Deliveroo, Uber, Just Eat, someone else. Brexit says, yeah, missed the accidental conversation that happened when you're in the same physical space. Yeah, and it's one of those things that I'm a huge advocate of working from home. But like there is a real cost to it on the other end. And I'm not talking about to employer, I am talking about as a person that is doing the working from home, is that if you are a personality hire, your personality is not shining through. If you are working as you're working in an area where you need development or you need to communicate with others, and all the incidental conversations like coming out of like the reason I go and travel to clients still, coming out of a meeting where someone pulls you aside and says, oh, I just wanted to talk to you about that thing, or that person in that meeting, they don't know what they're talking about, but they're quite senior, so no one ever corrects them. This is the actual thing. And if you don't have that, where the only time someone's got to talk in front of you is in front of their boss, you're never going to find the stuff out. So you can waste a vast amount of your time. Opening the Royal Book. You know how to access the Royal Book. The Royal Book contains useful information and various features like the capability to establish trade routes with your neighbours. Okay. So we want to assign some of these new workers. There we go. I aspire to relax and play on my own. Okay. Trade routes. So Northbury, let's unlock the trade route to trade the planks. We're going to need a wee bit more resource in with the planks, but we are doing the work on that at the moment. So we'll give it a few minutes and we'll be able to do that. Let's assign another resource as well. I'll put stone in and food in. Nope, can't do food. Okay. Gloom says, when you've been senior, you're not like senior, not senior like your age. I remember when the youth would respect the elders. We used to tie an onion to our belts, as was the style at the time. Food goes into a granary. I thought that would probably be the case, Fire. Thank you. Although that's... Oh, no, that doesn't use planks. It's using wood and stone. So you can be building that while we've... Housing insufficient. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to paint more residential area. We don't have very much room for additional residential area. Trying to keep it a little bit further away from the industrial area, but you know what? Let's just paint it to the edge. There we go. We'll speed it up a wee bit. But yeah, combat, not bad. Not bad at all, my friend. All the best for sitting drinking a coffee. Thank you, Death Legion, again for the coffee. Much appreciated. Already, I'm using, just for the giggles, using my Fix-It Satisfactory mug, which is a bucket of coffee, and it's already half gone. For some context for those who don't know, supporting on coffee literally makes an espresso on my my coffee machine. Because why not? Insufficient resources. I mean, these ones. There we go. Must just be in transit. Glad to hear it's been a while. Yeah, how are things with you? I hope you and yours are keeping well, my friends. Good. You wish work wasn't so busy, barely got weekends to yourself these days. Well, that sucks, my friend. Hopefully it will quieten down a little bit for you. It's entering the busy period for me because as more and more people that I work with go on leave, most of the time over the next few weeks, I am the only one that is working. And because I'm an idiot and effectively hold down 3 full-time jobs, it's going to get a bit busy. In my case, it's my choice combat. It's and some of the jobs are quite fun on occasion. Well, on the subject of fun things, you should definitely go and check out Gaming Buzz at gaming.buzz, where Kane, our lovely editor, has written an update for The Witcher. And if you don't know, Kane's an enormous Witcher fan and is slightly excited for Witcher 4. Slightly. Right. So I suppose we better allow the sale of these. How do we do that? From the Trade Resources tab. So I should probably slow it down again now as well. Let's trade routes. Desert says I'm Flanky, I'm the only idiot here. I'm in a similar boat and I only have one job, but I have to cover the team members on leave for work. Yep. It's funny because my entire job, well, it's problem solving and then hiring people that are smarter than me. I know chat a low bar to do each of the jobs that I do better than me to slowly make myself unemployed. And it is quite funny that when I first started, I could do literally everything better than anyone else. And the smarter people I've got, I'm like, oh, I feel sorry for you if you have to call me out on Christmas. If you want me to do development work, oof. This is the correct screen. Which was the correct screen? This one? The barrel. Cool. Purchase and sales. Was it planks they wanted? Don't love that UI. There you go. Can't love all the things all the time, right? Advice, the Manor House. You've made great strides recently. A light-hearted woman recognised your progress and thanks you on behalf of her folks for your hard work. To help manage the village and enact new mandates, she suggests you build a manor house and a great hall. Your first monument. Monuments represent the greatness of your village. They're an assemblage of multiple buildings called sub-buildings, each with its own function. The first step to making a monument is to choose the initial sub-building you wish to add, then design it as you would for a multi-part building. Great. Don't worry about deciding which sub-building to build first. You can add many sub-buildings you want and edit them afterwards. Cool. So we've got some new building parts available. Do I have to unlock it maybe? There you go. Oh, right, okay. Cool. Place that there without. Maybe it needs to be a bit more. We'll give it a wee bit more space so we can play around with it a little bit more. A manor boudoir. Oh my. You stick a weather vane on top. A simple vestibule. Well. Oh. Of course, no man is complete without a boudoir. Alaska, welcome on TikTok. Lovely to have you here. Thank you. No sound. Give me a second. Let me see if I can sort that out for you as well. I don't know if that's any better for you. I'm boosting the same audio we're using for the stream on Twitch and YouTube to 400%. Test. Is that any better for you? In the early access, you once built a giant castle that made the game lag. I think that seems reasonable. Got doors, interactive locations. Oh, well. Are we going to have them patiently wait? We can get them all wait over here, apparently. But we would shed over there. For reasons. Why not? Okay. The game might get combat via mods later. That's interesting. They're already banning canned mods for the access version, so I guess the mod will just adjust it for 1.0. That's got no storage left. Oh, we have got people going off to go and get the planks. Oh, so it's got nothing in storage. The opposite problem. Let's go and find an old builder's shop. Nestled in the woods. Forest camp. We'll add an extra woodcutters at a slumber camp. Combat says, what games have you been playing regularly, Flanker, and new gems? I was actually just looking at this the other night. We've been playing a lot of co-op stuff because we've been lucky enough to have Waggly around. So we've had some more co-op daytime things. But I'm really enjoying the new update to Grey Zone. Huge amount of fun. CK3, not a new game, but the latest update for CK3, the Landless Adventurers. Really, really worthwhile. We'll be playing CK3 at 2:30 today for one of our community games. You can join at any point and create your character from scratch. It's so cool, and the map feels so much more alive. You can do some very silly and fun things. There's a YouTube video up of a run that I did where I took a Viking with Scots heritage in the north of England to become the king of Croatia by accident. It was a lot of fun. At times, Grey Zone feels like Death Simulator. Yeah, thing is, as long as you don't do silly things, they've massively improved the AI in Grey Zone. And if some of it is down to luck, because if you do get shot at and it catches you, it's not just a hitbox for you've taken percentage damage. It's like the number of times that poor physics managed to get shot in the neck. It's like everything else absolutely okay. Helmet still 100% condition. Vest perfect. Delta Force has been a huge amount of fun as well. In the I think Battlefield vibes, but with some really interesting gunplay mechanics, really interesting different modes. And there's been quite a lot of Tarkov likes as well. And then on the simulation side of things, sorry, my recent games I've played this week. Where are we? Oh, Celica was just me trying to get it working. Rimworld Lockdown Protocol, a lot of fun. I think of Among Us in first person, huge amount of fun. Really, really enjoy it. Far more than I enjoy Among Us, where you're completing tasks before getting killed, no voting people out. Half Sword I've quite enjoyed. Not something I've played on stream, but their playtest and demo are out. I'm lucky enough to have access to their playtest as well as the demo. Makes Mortal look very tame. Some very silly physics-based fun. I've quite enjoyed playing Planet Crafter with Wagley. Fast Food Simulator is an interesting kind of additional co-op simulator game I've rather enjoyed. And then we've played quite a lot of things like, Ready or Not. New DLC for Ready or Not. Not a new game, but is looking great. And the new clan for Northgard is going to be really interesting if you're not playing PvP. There's some really cool stuff in the Clan of the Turtle. That if you're playing through your single player or playing kind of chilled out runs, seems like there'd be lots of interesting stuff. And I quite enjoyed Sugar Shack, actually. That's been a pleasant waste of time as well. But I think I was having a look. So far this week, we're on Wednesday. I think we've played 12 different games on stream. Also not included DLC. Simply says a minded gem. Nice. Dropson says first time seeing this game, is it good? It's fine. It's a pleasant waste of time. A couple of things I don't love about the UI. But the graphics are quite pretty. And if you just want a chilled out game to... Like, this is almost a just chatting stream. There is... I need to assign tools to a warehouse. Okay. Not destroy. Not locate. Edit. Surely that is the Great Hall, right? Manor Hall, yeah. That'll do. Yeah, if you're more into the building aspect and Farthest Frontier, on pacifist mode didn't hit the aesthetic you wanted, this is a reasonable alternative to Farthest Frontier as far as I can tell. Robers, you still need to find some changes. Check out the change to Grey Zone for me. Most of my spare time is spent on Eve and every broken arrow test I can get into. That's fair enough. Yeah, Grey Zone, the changes, the night cycle is really cool. And Delta Force is definitely scratching my itch for, in its warfare mode, for like squad-based stuff that I think they've learnt some of the lessons, and you get, yeah, you still get point skills, but you can earn a lot of points and experience just playing the objective and doing the support things your role is intended to do. It's possible to rename residents. Yes. Still waiting for the Black Hole download. Yeah, it's kind of weird, I'll be honest, that Delta Force and other games like it have taken the choice, and lots of positive stuff. Delta Force, really enjoy it, but have gone, we could make one game, but instead we're going to make three, because they're three completely separate games. The Extraction Tarkov shooter, instead of being a 4-man squad, which is what it is for Warfare, is a 3-man squad and is heavily PvP with some PvE included. You've got the Warfare mode, which is like Battlefield, which is just glorious, big, large-scale multiplayer, really enjoying it. And runs really well on older hardware as well. Like, a lot of people in the community are running older machines, although quite a few people have had new PCs recently. And then Black Hawk Down is like a completely different experience again. Drop something says, do you have an opinion on the new Intel GPUs or the GPU market in general? Super happy to see more competition. Kind of weird to say this, but Intel is the underdog, and I think their new GPUs are super compelling, and if they having a fight for the value end of the market, the end that most people, if we're honest, should be aiming for, that kind of $250 for a graphics card, is only a positive for consumers. So long may it continue, and I hope that the GPU division doesn't get cut. And I'm almost tempted to go and buy one of their GPUs, not because I need one, just because I'd like to support them in doing, like, you have to put your money where your mouth is. Like when we went back to the discussion about retail, if you go, oh, I really like that shop, I haven't been there in years, you don't really like that shop and it won't be there next time you go. You have to spend money if you want things that you enjoy or you like or would like to see develop continue to exist. So I'm seriously considering buying an Intel GPU, not as a main GPU, but maybe building even if I just put it in a NAS or something, so it's something that shows some support for their kind of GPU division and what it's trying to do. Insufficient housing. Surprising no one. What I'll do is I think we'll paint a little bit more housing just around the edge here. Let's just take that bit off there and we'll round out there. But yeah, happy to see it get to a second gen. Happy to see it exist. Would like to see more companies, more competition in that space. And frankly, Nvidia don't care about entry-level gaming. And AMD can't fight for the top end. So having some more competition kind of in the lower ends is really cool. And by the top end, I mean, they don't have a comparative 5090 killer coming out anytime soon. Branksy says, I feel weird hoping Intel can shake the GPU market up a bit considering what they've done with the CPU market for over 30 years. Yeah, like, Intel on the CPU side are having a bit of difficulty. That's probably a bit of an understatement. I have no love for Intel on the CPU side of things. Yeah, and you shouldn't, in general, mindlessly follow any company or mindlessly hate any company. Or dislike a company in general unless they have done things to earn said dislike. But Intel on the CPU side have abused their market position for years and also done things like change the socket pinouts for generations. So you have to buy a new CPU and motherboard every time you want to upgrade. Whereas AMD have pushed for the AM4 standard, which has lasted, what, 8 years now? Hey, CK, good morning, good morning. Lovely to have you here. How's the foundation going so far? It is going. We're doing some chilled playing through. We're building our manor house at the moment. Yeah, if you haven't read CK's latest articles, you can head over to the Gaming Buzz at gaming.buzz and check out the latest article on The Witcher. Drop something says, I love how long AM4 lasted though. I bought in so late I have to swap out the motherboard anyway if I want to upgrade. Yeah, it depends what you built, but I have PCs. So I've built in the last 5 years, I think 20 something PCs for various people, and I love the fact that I think all of them can benefit. I think the only one, actually, Siakane's PC, I think might be already at the top end of AM4, but everyone else has had drop-in replacements for 1,000, 3,000 CPUs up to the 5,000 series, and within the 5,000 series, as prices dropped, whether they're more into content creation or whether they're more into more single core tasks like gaming, has depended on whether we've gone for like an X3D variant or gone for a higher core variant. It's been really cool to see that long life support, and they were still releasing CPUs within the last few months, albeit, as far as I can tell, bin down CPUs from other CPUs they were selling to cut waste. And if they support AM5 like they supported AM4 instead of how they supported Threadripper, that would be great. Fire says 20 PCs a Tuesday for Mark, indeed. Well, it has been a very long time since I have built PCs for I think it's actually been 20 something years since I built masses of PCs. And then I was building PCs for a college and was literally building hundreds of them. And it was very fun until it wasn't. So, building the first PC was great. Building the second PC was kind of cool. Building the third to 10th, you're like, all right, this is neat. I'm getting it down on a production line to get these PCs built. And it worked out all of the quirks of the cases and the components we were using. Building PC 200, not so much fun. Drop something says I would have loved the 5800X3D, but they don't sell them anymore. Yeah, they discontinued them. I think you can still get your hands on a 5700 X3D. And you may be able to get a second-hand one come up as people upgrade from AM4 to AM5, where they do replace the whole system. And I think there's going to be a lot more CPUs kicking around, more towards the lower end than the highest end. But I would imagine, like, you're probably going to find more CPUs sub the 5800X3D and the 5950 kicking around, because people are just upgrading and they're not buying a new motherboard or not building a whole new PC. They're upgrading the core components. So there are more CPUs kicking around. I mean, I've got 6 CPUs in my cupboard at the moment, and there's a reason for that, because I need them for troubleshooting and need them to be able to swap out if someone has PC troubles. But a lot of people will have just flipped them to get some money back towards the next upgrade. Really cool. Colbert says he's not planning a new PC build until approximately June next year, so may pick your brains at that point. Yeah. Oh, glad to hear that it's better, by the way, Anaska, and please correct me if I'm mispronouncing your name. I did turn down some of the background music because it was a bit egregiously high on loading in, as it is with many games. Right, our manor house almost built. Ooh, a mandate. I don't know if that picked up on the mic. I have a printer next to my desk from a company called Manbin. This is not an ad. It's a thermal label printer, super useful. I use it quite frequently. But for some reason, they thought, what do people want from their thermal printers? Is it network connectivity and ports? Well, we'll chuck some of that in. We could add voice. We could make it talk. So every so often, you'll hear it just chirping into the background going, I'm here. I'm leaving. Call me next time. Like, there is no world that adds to the functionality of the printer. Other than it brings joy, because I mean, what are you going to say to a label printer that's going to be helpful? Because you're printing typically on a label printer one-off labels or big runs of like a design of label. You're not just having a conversation with it. Browsers, they still hope to build a new PC in the new year. Guess you wait for early January announcements. Don't feel like that will change what I'll get all the pricing. Honestly, probably not, Braxius. The pricing in January, you're likely to see a Halo product come out. So unless you were looking at buying yourself a 4090, it's going to make virtually zero difference to the price. There's probably more price pressure from Intel on the low end than there is from Nvidia, who, let's face it, are competing against themselves and are probably not going to they are not motivated to offer you better value. And Nvidia will already be starting to clear some of their existing product through the channel, so there's not a lot left behind. By that I don't mean offering discounts, I mean they're I think we may need another woodcutter actually. I don't have any space to put a woodcutter in, so maybe we don't. But yes, I don't mean they're discounting. I mean they're just going to be stopping or slowing production. AMD are announcing their stuff too. Yeah, probably not going to have any impact on price. Like, AMD have set expectations that they're going to compete at the mid-range. Intel are competing on the mid-range. Nvidia would rather sell a few Halo cards than win the market share in the PC market. They frankly do not care about the PC gaming market at the moment. It's such a small part of their business. And fighting. It's the same production facilities that they're using to make the chip for a 4060. In broad terms, as they are for 4090 or a AI accelerator card. One of those, you sell racks of them at thousands of dollars per card, with multiple cards per U, and then multiple racks as part of a solution. Like Nvidia offer solutions that are multiple racks big now, in the hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. You have to sell a lot of partner cards that you've licensed and produced the chip for to get anywhere close to that productivity. You can upgrade the woodcut with a new modular building. Okay. Edit. I know housing's insufficient. I don't have any additional options there. Cool. Oh well, they'll just wait a bit. It's not like this is a fast-paced, high-octane game anyway. Oh, one sec. That is my door. Sorry about that. That was my sale purchase coming. I'm a big fan of desire paths in games. That way around. There you go. It is really funny to me. Design paths are one of those things in urban design where when people like try to stop you taking them, sometimes it makes sense because it's like the desire path people are walking is a more dangerous route. But sometimes you see local authorities, like you have a corner that people are obviously cutting to the extent that no grass is ever going to grow where that desire path is. I know the solution to this. Is it to put a path there? No, it's to put some fencing up to stop you being able to walk over there. Sure. You're currently aiming for a 7800 XT with 7600. That's fair enough. Is it the 7600 non-X3D you're after? Non-X. It's been a while since I've looked, but I don't think they've released the 3Ds over there. Your tea is cold. If only you had a thermal mug. And if you'd like a thermal mug to stop your tea getting cold, you should check out shop.gaming.bus. Ah, filthy sellout. You can see mine there. Well, actually, that's the prize one. Mine is next to my desk. It is terrible when your drink is cold, when you forget about it long enough. That makes sense, Praxius. The thermal mug is so deadly. Yeah, because the thermal mug is the opposite problem. It keeps things hot, or keeps hot things hot and cold things cold. How does it know? But when you've made a cup of coffee and put it in piping hot, and it's still piping hot in half an hour, and you do not expect it. Yes. Oh, also, what was on that desk? I don't know if I showed this before, but I've been on the studio desk. Forgive the mess a little bit because I've been getting stuff ready for shipping. I think we've now got pretty much everyone that's claimed their prizes from the charity Hot Potato have been shipped. We sent parcels all over the world. But we have more of our samples arriving, including holographic banhammers. And the bit in the middle is my purchases just arrived just now. I've got myself more Anchor big batteries. I love those things. CK says, if I get my British citizen revoked before even getting it, but I do microwave my teas as they go cold and it's a full mug. Totally understandable. Yeah, the holographic banhammers came out really nicely, actually. A much thicker sticker stock. We've added them to the tube of hittiness. We have a cardboard tube that I get hit with by Plan when I'm being cheeky. That is getting sticker bombed with banhammers. Oh, when we get a bit more territory. Why? We haven't... Hang on. Oh, have we... So is that not a great haul we've got at the moment? You returned the planet tabs you originally bought for your 2025 plan because you found hollow ones. It's still not built. It's waiting for wood. And because the wood thing's balked, we're just going to have to wait a little bit. All right. Can I make this a priority somehow? Yeah, there we go. Knock down the number of carpenters because we've got planks in stock. I know we're trading them, but just give it a chance to our wood cuts a chance to cut stuff and it be nabbed from there without it going straight to the carpenter. There we go, we're slowly getting there. There we go. Labour Tier 2 reached. We had a fisherman. Oh. Earning influence. An isolated community of fishermen is looking for a kind-hearted builder. They need help constructing a bridge to connect their village to the rest of the realm. They don't have much to offer, but they promise to spread the word about your generosity among the labourers. Sure. I am but your humble servant. I'm going to need that to be able to... Yeah, there we go. The fishermen couldn't reach it because the fish were very specifically just here. Only the barracks and the guard stuff is left. Okay. I'll do. Let's call it How Dare, right? Meet the elders. The elders are the much respected leading men and women among the region's labourers, heard of your village and wish to make themselves useful to your people. They brought welcoming gifts, mainly tools, to ease your village's lot, and then pledged their assistance. Okay, so we're going to need... Where is the tax office? Hey, Harlequin, how are you, my friend? Lovely to have you here. How's your day going? Tax offices don't work in the demo yet. Don't know why it's possible builders built like the Great Halls, but yeah, where though? No, don't abandon the quest. What you? I'll switch the function of the build. Okay. So do I just build another? So, okay, no, I'll just build it simply. Oh, hang on. Does this... Is that actually going to do what I wanted to do, where I just have a tax office as part of this, or I'm going to have to actually... Even with a separate building, build a completely separate manor house? Yeah. Words of your village's first church have reached the clergy, and they appreciate your dedication to the faith, and thus hold you in higher regard. So is that pretty much the demo over, Fire? Okay. So, what next? We've got Crusader Kings at 2:30, so we've got 4 hours of gaming. Fire says a lot of things you can unlock in the demo can't be done. I suppose it is a demo. Like the bread production chain, you can make wheat. You can turn that into flour, but the baker needs a tier 2 pop. Okay. Like, that's balked. I can't actually do that. Oh, no, there you go. Worked eventually. That's neat, Fire. I think this is a cute, chill game that you don't really need to pay any attention to play, which is a pleasant way to spend some time. Chilled games are chill after all. I think I much prefer Farthest Frontier for me personally, but we all like different things. Oh, it's a trader from Northbury. Don't know if we have a Wagley around yet. Oh. Oh, geez. Sorry, chat, give me a second. Oh, Wagley, that sucks. Wagley storage unit. There's a storage company and a storage building that Wagley and I both have storage units in. The storage units in that building for me is a work one, so it's just money lost. The storage unit that Wagley's got there has all of their personal belongings in it, and they've just confirmed hers is one of the ones that's been badly damaged, and they can't even get into that part of the building yet. It's not been signed off to enter to it for her to be able to go and check. That really blows, Wagley. Because that Wagley is has literally all of her stuff, barring I think a suitcase of clothes and her PC in that unit. Morning, Joe. And like a lot of the stuff's replaceable. No one's been hurt, and yeah, you can get nice sets of pans and things all over again. You can get, but I would say 3/4 of her clothing and all of the sentimental items in there can't easily be replaced. And I would guess it's probably not going to be for another week or two before they're going to be able to enter. They were still hosing it down. Oof. Joe says you feel missing contact. It's a storage unit that has caught fire, Joe. Or a storage company's premises has caught fire, which both Wagley and I had storage units in. Mine is all work stuff. Wagley's is all of Wagley's stuff, barring a suitcase of clothes. Okay, a whole house full of stuff. That storage is full. Looks like we're allocating more space to fish. I suppose we're not using fish. We could probably expand this market. Bracey says can't help with sentimental stuff, of course, but that should be covered by the storage company's insurance, I guess. Yeah, the like stuff is just stuff, but some of the sentimental stuff that can't be replaced. I know Wagley had a lot of her photos and stuff in there that just, yeah. And it will be insured, and there'll probably be a long fight as to whose insurance should cover it, because you are required, if you have stuff in storage, to have insurance cover for your unit. as well as there's probably some liability somewhere as to what started the fire, how it got so out of control, whether the fire suppression was sufficient there's all that stuff that you're just going to have to spend months of paperwork, because there's going to be a fight over whose insurance is paying for it. Is it storage companies or is it your insurance? And if it's your insurance, is it your storage insurance specifically, or is it your home cover? Because if you have multiple coverage for an event, actually you are less covered in a lot of cases, not more, because everyone will fight over, well, it should be the other insurer that covers it, surely. To be fair to the storage company, though, they did... There you go, we'll put fish on that one. They did reach out and try and arrange an appointment with the loss adjuster, but I think it got cancelled because the building's still not safe to get into. In my case, which I have the far better end of the deal, because it was a few thousands of pounds worth of work stuff. There's a debate to be had whether it's even worth claiming on insurance for me, or whether I just swallow a few thousand quid's worth of loss, because insurers don't lose money. So for Wagley, it's pretty straightforward. Wagley will definitely want to claim. For me, it's like, well, my business insurance will go up. So am I going to be paying that back more to the insurance company than the value of the goods over the next period? If you're claiming your insurance and your premium goes up, not always worth it. Yeah, definitely worth it personally. If it's a large amount or something that you cannot afford to lose, definitely. That polished stone I'm never going to... get and can't trade for. So I think this is the end of this run. Merchant is approaching our village. Wood for the bishop. Yeah, and a bishop for some wood. I'm not sure that's what he means. There we go. A rustic food surplus. A mountain of food in your granary is always a reassuring sight. Such is the abundance of nourishing wealth comforts your villagers, assuring them the days ahead will likely involve being well fed. So, any suggestions on what we play next? I think we are done with the demo. We've bought the game, but the game doesn't have the same mechanics as the demo yet. Is there any news when the two will match up, Fire? Put myself with a voice so that if Wagley does fancy gaming, at least see where I am. January 30th. Okay. set the scene for later, right? Marrying off your 6-year-old granddaughter, absolutely. I like the cloud animation. Sorry, I was just waiting to see if Waggly's responding, because Waggly is very busy. And then we can make a decision as to what we play next. If Waggly's around, we'll play something co-op. If Waggly's not around, then we'll do something else. No other new games? I mean, not new. I think I got Frozenheim. Still haven't played any Frostpunk. Like there's... Oh, you played 2-3 new games this week? I don't know what other new game you would suggest. I checked the Gaming Buzz inbox. I'm having a look at the moment. Not feeling particularly inspired by any of the keys we've been offered, to be honest. Oh, that's funny. Okay. I got sent a key for something I bought recently. What else we got? Key giveaway, says Joe. No, these are press keys. I can't give them away, unfortunately. Very specifically against the terms of getting press keys. There seems to be a lot of simulator games. I mean, we've played a lot of simulator games recently where we've done like business management games for everything from, I don't know, I suppose we finish out a run on, was it Laundry Store Simulator, is it? And Fast Food Simulator is kind of cool and interesting. There seems to be, there's several retail simulators came out in quick succession. There's now a parking lot simulator here. Tiny house simulator. Oh, actually, I haven't actually checked my press login. Give me a second. Simulation saying games seem to be a thing now. One did well, so everyone's trying to copy it. I don't think it's so much that. I mean, you have to bear in mind that it can often seem like there's bandwagoning on a concept, because there's a lot of similar games released at the same time. Most games have depending on the scope of the game, a 1 to 5 year dev cycle. I think that a lot of them have independently looked at simulator games are, particularly if you're selling on the lower end. So, you know, you got a price point of somewhere between 10 to 20 bucks. People get a lot of value from using them as a way to chill out and relax. It's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum from the battle royale mass combat games. So I think it's a solid way of getting lots of playtime if you build them out right. And there's been simulator games forever. Open TTD, anyone? Which we run a server for. But yeah, I think it's just a genre that, particularly post-COVID, where people are looking to just chill out and are spending a lot more time kind of gaming as their leisure time, not necessarily as social time all the time. You're going to keep seeing some of these simulators, and it's interesting because one of the trends you've seen with some of them, which I think is a cool trend, is that more and more of them are made kind of with multiplayer in mind as well, which is interesting because simulation tends to be historically either just a business management sim. I say just, I thoroughly enjoy them, or at the other end of the spectrum are just you want to build a house, do something aspirational, but have historically really been a lot of the time single player. And then we're starting to see a lot more multiplayer options, which, you know, I quite enjoy things like the fast food simulator with friends, which is a lot like kind of a plate up deal as well. Like CK3. Before CK2, a lot of people didn't know what Paradox is and they made other games. I don't know, when was CK2 released? That was 2012. CK2 had a lot of players, but with CK3 there's a big push for those games in general. Yeah, I come at it slightly differently. I think CK3 did well because they finally learnt the lessons of CK2 and all of their previous games, like making massively detailed games that you can only market to the people that have already played since release day your massively detailed game, and then having zero tutorial updates over the whole life cycle of the product is what kept mass adoption for Paradox games. CK3 solved that with just simple tooltips. Oh, one sec, my door again. Right, sorry about that. I just got another cool thing through. My History Happens calendar. And I would say, like, I think medieval, or not even medieval Total War, but the Total War series in general is what proved the market for that type of game. Very slightly different in terms of your controlling armies and things, and mostly more map paintery. But I think Paradox just got out of their own way. You would put Total War and Paradox games into the same category. Warhammer's more focused on battles than Paradox, except Stellaris is more the overall map. I mean, battles certainly form a core part of Total War, but you play Total War games with no battles. Like, you just auto-resolve everything, which effectively gives you CK3 without the dynasty bit. And, like, I think Warhammer is a bad Total War game. It's its own thing. It's a cool game. But the Warhammer Total War is not what Total War is about, historically. Historically, they've been historical games. and focused on points in history. And the battles are a major part of it, but like Empire Total War, you can play as a economic sim if you particularly want to. So I'm not saying they're the same, but they are definitely a similar genre. I think better examples of that are things like Rome or Medieval or Shogun. So their actual, or Rome, Medieval, Shogun, Empire, their actual mainline historical titles. Whereas I think Warhammer is honestly just unbalanced hero fighting, where the tech trees don't really matter, so it is just more of an RTS game with a bit of map play in between. Whereas I'd say Empire Total War is very much an economics game with fighting in between. And the technology and stuff really matters. It's the reason Empire is still one of my favourite games of all time. But Paradox spent quite a lot of their time making games that had a reasonably high attachment rate, so the number of additional DLCs that you sell to a particular game. And I like Paradox. I think their business model is really cool. But they definitely weren't the ones that created that market. Bearing in mind, Medieval Total War was 2 years before the first CK3. Oh, sorry, the first CK3, the first Crusader Kings game. And they were not even on the same universe of levels of success. And I am a really big fan of the way Paradox has, or the direction CK3 has gone in. That freaking rocks. CK2 is still a game I have zero time for. And yeah, everyone likes different games, but I think, was it Victoria that we played that I was just bored to tears? And I like deep management sims. Like my favorite all-time game was things like OpenTTD and Fragile Allegiance. And where Fragile Allegiance, you could spend a very large part of your time just buying and selling stuff and checking pricing charts. So, I'm assuming that Wagley's otherwise engaged, so I suppose that we better change game. Sure. Right, okay. I just had confirmation that we're not going to have a Wagley supervisor today. So what do you fancy playing next, chat? So we've got Crusader Kings 3, our co-op game, starting at 2:30. So we've got a few hours. We can either we could play some more of the laundry sim to see if we can finish off our laundry store, because I think we're now kind of snowballing there. We can do what are the other single player games? We can play some Father's Frontier. We can go the other direction and play some Grey Zone or Delta Force. We can do another single player quick run of Crusader Kings 3. Do a new run of City of Gangsters or Big Ambitions. But normally I have a plan for each stream. However, where we've been so lucky to have Wagley on such a regular basis, I try and leave it open so we can play more co-op games during the day. Delta Force would be cool to see more of, see more gameplay. Yeah, we can do that. Give me a few seconds. It'll be should be able to create a. Oh, that's Grey Zone. That is a different game, Blanker. Right, okay, I'll get some changing over stuff happening now then, I suppose. It'll probably take just a minute or two, because I need to create a thumbnail and do all the things. But if I will get that done now. Right, okay. If you're watching on Twitch or TikTok, you can stay exactly where you are. And we'll switch over to play some Delta Force. If anyone wants to join, they're most welcome to. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll put the link in the chat now. If you want to continue watching over on YouTube, you can just head on over to the link and join us there. The YouTube stream will finish and start again. That's because we make sure you have all of the VODs. So you can just watch the games on VOD that you want to, rather than having to trawl through a 14-hour video to figure out where the bit you're interested in is. So I'll do the changeover now, and I'll be back in just a moment.